guys, welcome back to Check Your Leader TV. Today just a bit of a hobby update. Haven't uploaded any content for about 3 or 4 weeks now. I've lost track. Been a multitude of reasons for that. First and foremost, we've just had school holidays here. So I've got 3 kids at home, a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old and a little 6-year-old girl. So when school holidays happen, I'm pretty much, my hands are full doing that. My wife is still serving in the army, so she's currently stationed up in the north of the country, and so often I'm just basically doing the whole solo parent thing. The other thing, of course, is the wife managed to come home for leave. She spent 10 days at home with us, so obviously if I've got an opportunity to spend time with my wife or making content, it's not even close. And so that happened as well. And the other thing, of course, is I've also been busy painting miniatures and basing miniatures. As you know, I've been playing the 1813 Battles for Germany point size. Well, it's not a point size campaign. It's a campaign book, a series of scenarios. You can get it from Ricewood's Press through the Two Fat Lardies online page, and so we've been playing that, and we're up to the final battle, and some of the units that are required, Austrian Grenzers, I didn't have any of them, and so I've been busy basing those guys up. Oh, they're just here actually, so I've been getting some units ready for that, and also some French 1809 units, because I'm looking at doing some battle reports set in Spain and also in Austria during the Danube campaign. So that's all been happening. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into a bit of an update with what's going on, so yeah, let's have a talk about what's going on in my hobby world at the moment. So here are just some of the miniatures I've been working on. So these are French chasseurs, foot chasseurs, light infantry. Also I painted, well, I didn't paint up. These actually were painted by Fernando Enterprise. So these are the French light infantry chasseurs. Behind them some British light infantry, and then Prussian Guard. Okay, so the French 1809 up to 1812, I guess. Brits, Peninsular Campaign style uniform. Mind you, they were wearing the stovepipe at Waterloo as well. So, and then of course we have Prussian Guard, they're Perry miniatures. Some Hanoverian infantry, 2 battalions of them, and then some Poles. So just a standard Polish Fusilier battalion. Polish Guard Grenadiers. So these are the guys that it was a short-lived battalion from what I can gather. I think they were formed in 1813, and they fought through that campaign. Basically put together by Napoleon just for the campaign after the heavy losses of 1812. Not surprising. And some Polish, again, these are a mix of, I think the company's called Morawski Miniatures and Perry Plastics. Now, if you get the Perry box set of infantry, you get 3 boxes. They'll give you this this nice little Prince Poniatowski dismounted, and basically I'm just basing him up here. There he is, advancing with his musket, pipe in mouth. There's a Russian Jaeger fallen, and one of his light infantrymen was saying, hands off the prince, as they go forward. Beautiful miniature, again painted by Fernando Enterprise. Also some Russian brigade commanders, divisional commander as well. Again painted by Fernando Enterprise to what they call their showcase quality. Perry miniatures. Have been working on some stuff of my own as well, well, that's all my own. Painting my own miniatures as well. a Royal Horse Artillery rocket troop, rocket to be placed on the base within. As you can see, this is normally my Wargames table, but at the moment there's stuff everywhere. It's a bit of a shit fight, but there's a method to the madness, so don't worry, I'll get it all sorted out. What else can I show? So these are the Grenzers that I have been waiting on getting painted, waiting so desperately for to get painted. Again, these are all painted by Fernando Enterprise, except for the mounted officer that you see back here. He's a Piano Wargames miniature that I printed up, 3D printed myself, and painted myself. Just a standard Austrian infantry officer, but I've painted him up as an officer of Grenzers. So they're the 2 battalions of Grenzers that I needed, plus the skirmishers. Prussian Schutzen, Russian Jaeger, I needed more of them. I always wanted a battalion of the 5th Battalion, 60th Royal Americans. So now I have them. More French skirmishers, voltigeurs of the light infantry with their Colpacks. Some light infantry battalions, 1809. It's such a swank uniform. Carabiniers in bearskins carabiniers in bearskins, and voltigeurs in Colpacks. So I had to get them painted up. So I've pretty much now got enough troops for an 1809 French army. Then I got this command group painted up. This is from, again, Perry's Miniatures. This is the Duke of Wellington, and I think Cole. In the set, you've got the Duke of Wellington pointing to a map, and then I think it's General Cole, or now that's actually Picton sitting beside him, I think, and then you've got a Portuguese general. There's Cole over there, I think. Another British officer. It comes with 2 ADCs, and I think it's Cotton, dismounted British general of cavalry. Again, this is painted by Fernando. It's beautiful miniatures from Perry. Almost my entire collection's Perry. That's the way I'm trying to go anyway. And then we have some more Russian officers, aide-de-camps. I do have a Kutuzov as well. Yes, over at my paint table, here's the Perry Kutuzov paint set, command set. These were painted up again by Fernando, but the map on the drum, I decided to paint that up because I didn't give directions to precise directions to Fernando how to paint it. I wanted it painted, and basically it was just, I think they thought it was just a sheet draped over a drum, but it's supposed to be a map. So I'm working on the map. That's the base colors put in. I'll add to it and finish it off. But there he is, Kutuzov, chubby chap, sitting on his drum, sitting on a what is he sitting on? Oh, there's a little bench. Some Russian generals with him. A British officer who's observing. And again, Perry Miniatures. Can't go wrong with Perry's, as I say. And other stuff that I'm working on, it's all over the place. So it's a bit of a shit fight. So that's what I've been working on painting wise. And there's just a couple other things I want to talk about in no particular order. First of all, I've been scooting around on YouTube, and I found quite some time ago actually a YouTube channel called Basement 1908 ! Basically, it's a channel where a chap is sharing, pretty much like mine, just sharing his wargaming activities. He's been playing a lot of General d'Armée version 2, and currently I think he's going through Regimental Fire and Fury, the American Civil War rules set. So you can have a look if you're interested in the rules. You can check his YouTube channel out. I'll put a link in the description below. So it's like I said, Basement 1908. Why Basement 1908? Don't know. Maybe his address is 1908, some street somewhere, and he games in his basement. But yeah, they're quite interesting videos. He's sounds like a very enthusiastic gamer, and that comes across in the videos. So that's nice. So that's one channel. There's plenty, but I just wanted to touch on that one for now. Another thing that I've been distracted by is I do a bit of 3D printing. I like to print a lot of my own miniatures. I did mention before that my collection is overwhelmingly Perry, and that is the case. But my Württemberg troops, some of my Bavarians, many of my Austrians will be Piano Wargames miniatures. Now you can buy the miniatures metal sculpts from Piano Wargames in Germany. Lucas, I think it's Lucas Lubar. I don't want to butcher the fella's name. Lucas. He's a sculptor in Germany, and I must admit his sculpts are as good as the Perry's easily, and they actually fit in beautifully with Perry miniatures. So if you're like me, I'm a huge fan of the Perrys. I think when it comes to Napoleon, well, whatever miniature range they seem to do, they always do it well. I've been jumped on all the Kickstarters that Piano Wargames put out. The reason for that is not only do they produce metal miniatures, but they produce STL files so that you can print your own miniatures at home. In this day and age where purchasing miniatures from overseas can be very expensive, unless of course you get them in bulk from the Perrys, in which case it's not expensive at all. Generally speaking, it's getting to a point now due to the nonsense that's going on in regards to getting miniatures posted, because they have to put them on planes, and planes use jet fuel, and God forbid that we use jet fuel. For all these reasons, getting miniatures from overseas has now become quite expensive. So the logical solution is, if you can make them at home yourself, then that's great. And the quality of the miniatures now that you can get are pretty good. The files and the quality of the printers is pretty good. I'm not going to downplay the fact that resin printing it can be a bit messy, but if you are methodical in the way you go about it, it doesn't need to be too much of a drama. And the quality of the printers now is such that you don't have to be an expert or all that knowledgeable in 3D printing to get good results. I'm completely self-taught. I simply one day just went Anycubic Photon Mono printer. I think I started off with a Photon S, it's just a small one, and now I have 3 Anycubic mono photo mono printers going, printing out miniatures for me. I'll show you. Actually, I'll sit right here. You can see some of the miniatures I've recently printed. Where am I going with this? I get my resin from a company called Monocure, and one of the common complaints with printing 3D miniatures is they can be somewhat brittle, so a little bit more fragile than your normal miniatures. There's a way around this. If you using a standard resin, you can get a flex additive. You put that in and you mix it with your standard resin, the resin that you're using. Now I use Monocure. I used to use, I still do, but I'm moving away from it now. I used to use Monocure Rapid 3D resin. And then I got Monocure Tensile, and then I've got this Flex additive, and I've added that to it. Basically, 8 parts of the resin, 2 parts of the Flex additive, mix it up really, really well, and then pour it into the vat, print, and I'm getting good results. I'm got miniatures that are quite robust, actually, just as robust as any plastic miniature that I could buy. So it's perfect. But it just got better because I got in touch with Monocure recently and asked them if I could get this Flex additive, and Charlie at Monocure was nice enough to go, listen, how much of the resin of this rapid resin do you have? I said, I've got 5 liters of it. He said, look, I'll send you a couple of bottles for free. At the same time, we've now got a model resin, because I explained to him what I was using it for. He says, we've got a model resin that we've produced in conjunction with a Wargamer, and we're interested to see what the customers think of it, so I'm going to send you a bottle of that as well. So I got a bottle of this new mini resin from Monocure. It's not available yet, so those that are watching and thinking, oh, I'm going to have to get onto this. It's not available yet, but they are sending some bottles out to people for them to test, and I'm fortunate enough that I got a bottle, and I've tested it, and it's fantastic. It's basically, and it gives a matte finish, so you could actually paint straight over it without undercoating. I still undercoat regardless, but basically this resin is designed specifically for gaming miniatures, and the results I'm getting are fantastic. Again, the miniatures are robust. The detail on the resin produces is fantastic. Now, obviously, I know the resin doesn't control the detail. The printer does that. I know that. No need for comments. But the quality of the resin you have does have an effect. And this resin is fantastic, as you will see in the images that I've inserted here for you to have a look at. And not only is the quality of the prints excellent, they have the robustness that I've been longing for a long time with 3D resin. So that's the update with that as well. So keep an eye on Monocure. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. They're an Australian company. It's Australian resin. If you have some Monocure Rapid at the moment, and you're concerned that the miniatures are a little bit too brittle when you print with it, I can understand that. So having said that, I have printed a lot of miniatures using just the Monocure Rapid, and they're holding up fine. You just got to be a little bit careful, especially with the bayonets and stuff like that. But I think that's true pretty much any plastic miniature, and even some of the metal ones. You got to be careful how you handle them. But if you have the Rapid resin, get the Flex additive, and it's basically I add for every 8 parts of Rapid, I add 2 parts, or 4 parts and then 1. And I'm getting very, very good results with that. Some people sometimes even go a higher proportion, so that they're going either. I've heard people using the Flex additive with the resin at a ratio of 50 to 50, and they're basically getting these rubbery miniatures. Hey, whatever works for you. That's one of the joys of 3D printing, is you can experiment and to get the type of resin specifically the way you want them. So that's my update in regards to 3D printing for Wargamers. Let's talk about a couple other things, and then I'll let you go. What I want to talk to you about now is I've recently, I think there's a YouTube channel called Seventh Son. I watch that every now and then for some battle reports, and recently they played a game of Soldiers of Napoleon. Interesting rules. It's not what I would consider a rival to GDA version 2. but I will be playing a couple of games of Soldiers of Napoleon because I think it's a good light-hearted game. I don't think it gives you that granular experience that you get when you're playing General d'Armée, but it looks interesting. It's a card-driven system, which I don't have a problem with. I tend to like card-driven systems because of the friction that it causes. But I think this card system is a little bit overpowering. I think it directs the game too much. But I think it's got a lot of potential for solo gaming. I think you have a bit of fun with it if you play it solo as well. So something to look at. And yeah, my intention is at some time in the near future I will play a game of Soldiers of Napoleon, and that way there might be those out there who will go, wait, that's pretty good. But in the meantime, like I said, you can zip across to Seventh, I think it's called Seventh Son or Seven Sons, SONS, as opposed to the fiery ball in the sky. Seven or Seventh Son, and there's a Soldiers of Napoleon battle report there for you to have a look at. Okay, so the final thing I'll just wrap up with is Mega 2024 is occurring on the 16th of November, Kensington Town Hall. It's in Melbourne, Bel Air Street, don't know the exact address. I'll put a link in the description below to the address. Mega 2024 is a wargaming event. It's a single day. Like I said, Kensington Town Hall. I'm going to be putting on a General d'Armée demonstration participation game. There'll be, and I'll be in the large zone. There'll be some other lardy games being played in the large zone. There's also going to be trade stalls, bring and buy. There'll be other games being played, probably some sci-fi, fantasy kind of stuff, other World War II, World War I, historical kind of stuff. Plenty going on there. And it should be a pretty good event. So I wanted to advertise that. There used to be a tournament, or not a tournament, but an event that used to be held each year in Melbourne called Little Wars. It was a great event. Not like the normal Australian wargaming conventions where there's a lot of competition games being put on. Little Wars was specifically just about participation, demonstration, and traders, an opportunity for traders to show you their wares. And basically it was open for the public for a lot of people who had nothing to do with wargaming or never come into contact with it before. It was an opportunity for them to get a foot in the door and see what wargaming was about. Great opportunity for clubs to advertise their existence. So it's a great opportunity for wargamers and the general public to mix and for wargaming enthusiasts to share their passion with an audience outside of the norm. So, Kensington Town Hall, Bel Air Street, 16th of November. Like I said, there'll be a lardy zone there and lots of other stuff. So if you can get along, if you're in Australia, come on down. It should prove to be a good event. Well, I certainly hope it will be. This is the premier mega event, and so hopefully it will lead to other ones. Time will tell. But if the hobby isn't, if these kind of things aren't supported, then it makes it very difficult for the hobby to expand, in my humble opinion. So that's basically it. That's the hobby update. Next video, hopefully, it'll be the final game of the General d'Armée Battles for Germany campaign, and that's the Battle of Liebewaldskowitz, I think it is. I probably butchered the name, but that's shaping up to be a pretty good game. And then we will push on with some other stuff. Like I said, Soldiers of Napoleon, some O Group, which I'm really keen to get back into. I love O Group. Yeah, I guess that's all I've got for now. Please like, share, and subscribe if this is to your liking. And other than that, I will catch you on the next one. You be quiet.